Oh man, that was good. Oh man, live streamers, people tuning in live get a special treat because I just talked for 7 minutes and didn't have any sound. But today is June 20th, 2013. It is 8:07 p.m. and this is the KNKL Daily number 69. I'm your host, Kienan Lafferty, and today is Thoughtful Thursday. We gather and we talk about life, but today I'm going to be telling you a story and drawing it in real time, illustrating a story at the same time I'm telling it. I'm going to try my best. And you, at home, get to sit down and watch it happen. Now, before we get into that, though, I need to take a quick second and say thank you to everyone who has been contributing their time, money, or talent to the cause of KNKL and Emma. Those people can be found here. I feature their names throughout the month. If you'd like to get your name on this list, simply visit emmacomiconline.com, donate as little or as much as you want, and I'll feature your name throughout the month. And what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh yeah, and I wanted to say special thanks to everyone who has been ordering their very own special edition Emma posters, hand-signed, and you got the little golden buttons seal there. And I noticed today I pulled out number 45, so there are only 90 of these printed, so we're halfway there. So if you haven't considered getting one for yourself, do so now, because once number 90 gets sold, you'll never see them again. Alright, now that the sound is on, we can actually do this properly. Oh man, that was so funny. That was so funny. Oh, okay, alright. Well, take two. I can do even better this time. Today we're actually going to be talking about Zeeky the cucumber. We're going to be talking about the life story of Zeeky. And I actually closed down the YouTube video of me talking about him. But for those of you who don't know who Zeeky is, go check out KNKL episode number 16. And that was one where I was doing eraser art, and you'll very quickly notice there was a character at the bottom of the sea named Zeeky, the sea cucumber. And that's who we're talking about today. And I'll very quickly draw you a portrait of him. This is what he looks like. Basically, he looks like a sea churro, if you will. So he's right here. Okay, so here's the story of Zeeky the cucumber. So he started out his life down at the bottom of the sea, right, with all the kelp and all the awesome stuff. And I love doing this again. This is so sweet. I can do it better this time. And Zeeky really liked it under there. He liked it. He had friends and family. He had other cucumber friends and sea animal friends like Roger and William, whatever that other fish's name was, right? And he had a bunch of friends, right? And they really, really liked him. They cheered him on, and they said, Zeeky, you're awesome. He also had some people that didn't believe in him too, right? Like the bad shark guy, right? The evil shark. He didn't like Zeeky. No, he didn't like him. He wanted to eat him. But Zeeky was very clever, and he stayed hidden within the kelp, right? Anyways, he had a bunch of friends and family, but Zeeky longed for a new life. He wanted to know what was above the waves, what was above the sea, right? This is very similar to The Little Mermaid. However, I think that our character here is much more adorable and cute. Moving on. So one day, Zeeky decided for himself to slither to the top of the ocean, right? See what was up there. So here he is crawling his way up, going to the top of the sea. All right, and here his friends are still cheering him on. They're happy for him. His friends still like it at the bottom of the sea. They're like, yeah, you go do your own thing, but we're going to stay here. But yeah, we'll watch you. We'll watch you go do your thing. So they're cheering him on, and they're happy over here. Okay? So, next up, Zeeky gets to the top of the ocean, right? He gets to the surf, right? And he notices some interesting things are happening here. By the way, I'm not erasing at all today. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get out of the zone of like erasing. And yeah, so you're in for a special treat. Zeeky gets to the top of the ocean very quickly, and he notices some changes, notices some differences immediately. One, there's no more water to keep him moist. He's drying out. It's kind of scary. There's seagulls at the top that want to like eat him and like take him home and feed him to their babies. And yeah, they're creepy, right? He's mixed in with all the chips in here, and they think he's like some old churro washed up on the beach. So Zeeky decided very quickly that if he was going to survive in this new land, he was going to have to adapt. So very quickly, Zeeky started to evolve. Started to evolve into Zeeky 2, which featured arms and legs, right? And then he decided that those seagulls, he was going to have to face them, right? Those seagulls were one of the first hurdles that he was going to have to face. So he decided with his new found arms and legs that he was going to face his fear, right? He's going to face the fear of the seagulls. So very quickly, Zeeky found out that when he faced his fear, those seagulls were actually not as scary as he thought they were, right? Here he is punching one in the face, right? Dude, that looks awesome. It looks so much better than the other one. I'm glad I did this over again. All right. So yeah, Zeeky, and let's have him doing the heroic leap. Whoop. No racing. Heroic leap. So very quickly, Zeeky found out that these seagulls, which were one of the things that he was originally scared of, weren't that scary, and that he just needed to stand up to them and take care of business, right? So now Zeeky is pretty cool, right? He's pretty happy with himself, right? He's strong. He's got arms and legs, and a new set of eyeballs that are sort of retracted into his head. But moving on. Now Zeeky decides that he wants to see what this world is like. He's seen the beach. I mean, he's walking on sand, right? There's still sand at the bottom of the ocean. So he's like, oh, this place isn't much different than where I used to live. It's just a little bit more dry, and I had to evolve some arms and legs, but that's fine. So he decides that he's going to take a short walk away from the beach, and he's going to head over to the park, right? Or, yeah, just the park that's by the beach. So Zeeky's walking this way, right? And he's really liking what he sees. I mean, he sees like trees. He's never seen those before. They're like, whoa, it's kind of like kelp, except they're not underwater, right? Wow, so there's a lot of similarities, right? He's very quickly realizing that there's a lot of similarities to the places where he used to live, but there's a lot of differences too. Like there's park benches, and he sees these weird things in the distance called humans playing with beach balls and all these kinds of things, frisbees, all that. Here's a bunch of people playing over here, volleyball, got all that stuff. Anyway, that's not important. The point is that he's taking in his surroundings, and he's liking what he sees. He really does like what he sees. But then very quickly, he starts to understand, hey, if I'm going to be out here, I need to find my purpose, right? What's my purpose? What am I supposed to do? So Zeeky decides that he is going to, him looking like a churro, he decides that he's going to go apply for a job, right? He applies for a job at the local churro stand, right? Whoops! Didn't mean to do that. He applies for a job at the local churro stand. Here's his little resume right here with his qualifications. Great at slithering. References being the kelp he lived next to and the seaweed, right? And that's plenty, if not more, than enough qualifications to run the churro stand by the beach, right? So he talks to the churro guy, right? The guy that owns the stand, right? And let's see, what do those things look like? Just trying to recall them from Disneyland. Yeah, they usually have like a little thing up here, and the guy's over here, right? That's supposed to be a leg, but that's terrible. So that's good enough. So he wants to run the churro stand, right? So very quickly, he applies for the job, and he gets it. So now he's very happy. He's selling churros to these humans, and he's having a great time. He has a little newspaper hat on, and he's really, really happy. Okay, serving up churros, giving them to the kids, right? Let's draw some happy kids over here. Yeah, there we go. It's good stuff. Zeeky's serving churros to the kids. So he does this for a little while, and he really likes doing this. He likes spreading joy. He likes the fact that people appreciate his existence, and he feels like he's come a long way. But deep down within himself, he starts to kind of notice that every day is kind of the same. Every day is kind of the same, right? So he starts to feel a little bit like a churro robot, right? Churro robot Zeeky, right? So he starts feeling a little bit robotic and like he's stuck doing the same thing every single day, right? Serving churros to the kids. And while he still does enjoy it, he still really likes it because he feels like it gives him a sense of purpose and all that stuff. He wants to know what else is out there. He wants to do something else. He wants to find out what it's like to fly in the air, right? Because even though he hated the seagulls before, he sees them flying, right? And he longs to know what it is like to be part of the flying creatures of the air. And let me see what you guys are saying right here. Alrighty then. So moving on. Zeeky decides that he wants to take to the air. So he quickly resigns from working at the churro stand. He resigns from working at the churro stand, right? So he's off and he's like, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm not doing that anymore, right? Walking away. Chucking his little newspaper hat. I mean, maybe he worked it in and out. I don't know. So this is good, right? So he's walking away. He decides, I'm going to figure out how to get into the air. I'm going to figure out how I get to fly, right? So he goes home to the place where he calls home, which is probably right between a couple rocks, you know, by the beach. Kind of close to where he used to be, right? Kind of close to where he used to be, but not all the way back with his parents and his friends. All right? So he's back by these rocks, okay? He's kind of chilling out here. Thinking hard. Thinking about what he can do to get himself in the air. And there's a couple things that come to his mind, right? One is he could tame a bird, right? He could tame a bird and ride it. That would be interesting, right? But he wants the freedom. He wants the freedom of not having to be reliant on somebody else to obtain his dream, right? He wants to be able to create something. He wants to be able to create something that can let him achieve his dream on his own instead of relying on the bird, right? Because the bird basically is in the air when it wants to be, and as soon as it sets down, you have to be on the ground, right? You're not in control of where you're going. Zeeky wanted control of where he was going. So he noticed on this branch, he looked over to the side. He looked over to the branch at the park on the tree, right? Let's readjust his eyes so he's looking over that way. He looked over at the branch on the tree, right? And this is a magnification of that. And he sees this little caterpillar walking around, right? Little caterpillar. Climbing this little tree branch. And then very quickly he notices that caterpillar starts to spin a cocoon. Whoa, that's interesting. He'd never seen anything like that before. Zeeky says, well, that guy's kind of like me. That caterpillar is kind of like a sea cucumber. I know that we come from different places, but we kind of look the same. What he's doing there might just work for me, too. Let me try that. So Zeeky, with his evolved arms and legs, he decides to give it a shot. Okay. New slide. So he goes ahead and he climbs up to that tree as well. He climbs up to that tree as well. Okay? And he decides to do the same thing. He looks down at the caterpillar cocoon once more, just to make sure he's doing it right. And then he decides that he's just like gathered up some newspaper fragments and just like a bunch of like paper and stuff and like some glue and tape, and he kind of haphazardly spins himself a cocoon as well, right? Except his is a lot more messy, a little bit more kind of crappily put together, and yeah, it's kind of nasty. So he's kind of chilling in there, right? And he waits there, right? He has like a little hole that he poked in there so he can like look through, right? Here's like his eyeball looking through. He can see and watch when the caterpillar comes out, right? So after a few weeks pass by, or however long caterpillars stay in the cocoon, to his amazement, Zeeky sees the cocoon open. He sees the cocoon open, and just like he thought it would happen, I don't know how he has knowledge of caterpillars turning into butterflies, but let's run with it, alright? He sees the butterfly emerge, the beautiful butterfly emerge from the cocoon. And he's like, oh, that's what's going to happen to me, right? That's what's going to happen to me. So he decides that, okay, that guy did it, I'm going to do it too. So he emerges from the cocoon, and what do we get? Show you what we get. Zeeky emerges from the cocoon to notice that he's evolved, but not the biggest pair of wings. He's developed like these tiny little wings. And he's like, what the heck is this? what the heck is this? And he's really, really angry. He's really, really ticked off, right? Things didn't go his way. He copied the guy that knew how to do it, right? Copied the guy, and he didn't get the same results, right? And so now he's very angry. He's very angry. He's over here cursing. Very, very angry. So very quickly he starts to wonder why he wasted all that time, right? He spent weeks inside of this cocoon. He spent weeks in a giant trash heap, right? And for what? Just to get these tiny little wings, right? So he's very, very unhappy. He's starting to wonder, maybe I'm just not meant. Maybe I'm just not meant to be that. Maybe I'm just not meant to be that way. Maybe other people can do that. Maybe other people can achieve the dream of being free and flying in the air, but not me. I just got these tiny little wings, right? So he's kind of bummed out. So he paces the park, and the beach for a little while, just kind of thinking, right? Just kind of thinking about stuff. He's kind of wondering if whether he should have taken this chance, whether he should have even come up on land in the first place, right? Because he's seen the vision, he's seen what he wanted, and now he's gone for it and he's failed, right? And he's thinking about going back to where he came from. He's thinking about going back to the ocean. Right? He's thinking about going back down. And for a little while, he kind of sits on the edge of the beach. Right? He kind of sits on the edge of the water. Right? Lets the waves kind of hit him a little bit. And he's kind of sitting in the waves, just kind of remembering what life was like, remembering the comfort of the way he used to be. Right? Remembering the comfort of the ways in his old life. And he's wondering if he needs to go back. And while he's doing that, he's looking up above and he sees the birds flying. And again, it just brings back bitter memories of when he tried and failed. Right? And something inside of him at this point, right? Something inside of him kind of remembers that original passion that was inside of him, that made him want to see what was out there, right? The original passion that was within him that motivated him to leave the seafloor and come up onto the beach, and then he evolved these arms and legs, that still burns within him somewhere, right? And having had this failure, it kind of brings it out again, right? It kind of brings it up to the surface again. And he immediately gets this drive of motivation, right? At the point where he could have chosen to go back, right? He chose to take heart and kind of let that fire burn inside of him again, right? Let that fire and that passion and motivation kind of motivate him or get back to him, right? So he's like, yeah, you know what? I got these tiny wings, but that's okay. At least it's something. That showed me that if I just try a little something, it might not come out perfectly the first time, but it's something, right? Something showed itself. And I think that if I keep going, if I keep trying to find the way, I'll get there, right? I'll get there. So very, very quickly, he decides that he's not going back. He's not going back. He's going to go back to the park, and he's actually going to go even further. He's going to go even further, and he's going to go to the city. Okay? So, Zeeky heads to the city, and he immediately notices a bunch of new changes, right? Now he's looking around, and he sees cars, right? He sees cars. He sees more of those people, but they're not playing, right? He sees cars, right? Amazing cars. He sees people, but they're not playing. They're carrying these weird, strangely square-shaped devices, right? What are they doing? They're wearing these weird clothes. They have like hats on, and it looks like they're going somewhere, right? Looks like they're walking places. Everybody looks like they're in a hurry, right? And he's like, wow, these people must have some sort of business, right? These people must have some sort of purpose, right? And so Zeeky says, maybe that's what I want to do. Maybe I should do what everybody else is doing. Maybe I should really look around and be like, okay, all these guys are doing this. All these guys have these little briefcases and hats. I should do that. Okay? Kind of like before with the churro shop, except now he feels like, oh, hey, well, now I really, really feel like I'm getting onto something. Maybe these people can help me. Maybe these people can teach me something, right? So, very quickly, he decides that he's going to become one of them. Okay? So, again, he applies for a job. He applies for a job. Oh wow, he's really happy now. Applies for a job with the qualifications of running a churro stand, right? And immediately he gets the job, right? He gets the hat and he gets the briefcase, and he's really happy because now he's able to make lots of what these people call money. Money, that's great. And what does money do? Money allows you to get things, allows you to research things, allows you to take chances financially. That's tons of fun, right? So Zeeky has a lot of fun making money for a while, and he likes the stability of this job. Really, really likes the stability of this job. And he just kind of like enjoys the life. He enjoys the life of this businessman, and he does his best, and he works really hard, and he does a really, really good job, right? But then he starts to notice kind of the similar thing starts happening, right? He starts feeling like the same thing keeps happening. Oh, I forgot his wings on the last panel. Starts feeling like, you know, he loves, he's kind of like caught in this interesting feeling of the comfort of stability, right? With his money, right? Because now he's got a nice sea cucumber car. And yeah, he's got like a nice sea cucumber car that gets him to work with some kelp on it, right? For like added flair, and people think it's really stylish, right? They're like, whoa, that's so unique and awesome, right? It looks like it needs a little bit of repair, but yeah, regardless. He's really, really happy with this stability. Really, really happy with this. But again, he started to notice that he's losing the vision. He's losing the vision of his original dream, and that was to fly above. To fly above and get to the sky, right? Have that freedom. He wanted to create something that allows him to fly. So he decides that he is going to take a little bit of what he's earned there, and he's going to invest it in a new opportunity that might allow him to take flight, right? And he decides to put some research, right, into this new kind of thing, right? He's seen these things flying in the air that kind of look like birds, right? But they're planes. They're kind of like planes, and he's seen like helicopters and all that stuff. He's seen helicopters and planes, but he wants something that can be affordable, right? Because obviously he doesn't have enough money to buy his own plane or his own helicopter just yet. So he decides that he's going to work on something small just for him. And he decides that he is going to build. He's going to build, let's see. He's going to try to build his own wings. That's what he's going to try to do. He's going to try to build his own wings. Even though he's got, you know, the evolutionary wings, which aren't good enough, he's going to try to build his own, right? Just like the feathers from the birds that he saw before. So, he decides that with the money that he has, he's going to go ahead and he's going to buy as many feathers as he can, okay? So he goes to this shop, say it's like one of those, he just goes out and he buys a lot of dream catchers. That's what he does. He goes out and he buys a lot of these dream catchers. Because on them, it has just like a bunch of feathers that kind of dangle down. He's like, oh, that's a good place to get feathers, right? That's a good place to get feathers. He's like, I know how to beat up birds too, so I'll go beat up some birds and I'll get some more feathers. So he goes over and he punches some more birds in the face. And he jacks their feathers, right? Because these birds are the things that he used to be afraid of. But now he knows that he can tackle those. He knows that he can take care of the birds. So he punches them, and he takes their feathers, right? Let's show some feathers flying out. Okay, so he likes doing this. He likes doing kind of the nitty-gritty, kind of getting down to business, kind of facing your fears and getting the glorious fruits of your labor when you face your fears, right? You get the feathers that help you to achieve your dream. You see where I'm going with this? See where I'm going with this? It's actually, this story might actually make sense. Holy crap, I can't believe this. Okay, so after a while of punching birds and buying feathers legitimately, Zeeky starts to notice that his plan is coming together. Alright? He's looking down on the blueprints for the wings that he's made. Right? Here's the layout here. And he's going to make these wings. And he's so excited about this. He's so just consumed with this idea of being able to be free and fly in the sky that he can't wait to do it, right? And he's got all the resources, he's got all the feathers that he needs, right? He's got millions and millions and millions of feathers. Well, not millions, but you know what I mean. Hundreds of feathers that he's gathered over the time. So he realizes now he has all the resources that he needs, and he's going to get started on building these wings. So he works tirelessly in the beginning, right? Stays up all night. Stays up all night until it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, right? And he's getting really, really tired, but he's still slaving away, right? Still slaving away because he's just motivated by this dream that he has to make these wings, right? So here he is working at his bench. He's got like some 5 o'clock shadow going on, right? And very often he forgets to shave because he's really, really busy. So yeah, very quickly he starts to notice that he's making some good progress. He's making some great progress. And he looks down at what he's made, and he's noticed he's almost got the first wing completely done. Okay? He's nearly got the first wing completely done, and he really, really likes it. Right? He says, oh, this is pretty good. I really like this. This looks like it could work. This looks like it could work. I like it a lot. Very quickly, he starts to notice that, maybe this isn't good enough. You know, maybe this needs to be better. Maybe this isn't going to work. You know, and he starts to get afraid of what if all this time that I've spent awake at night and working on this thing turns out to fail again, like it did before. You know, what happens if all that happens again? And he starts to wonder if, oh, maybe that's not worth it. Maybe I should give up now. You know, maybe if I give up now, at least I won't have the possibility of failing, right? So he kind of sits there and kind of thinks about it, right? He's like, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to do this? I mean, I've left behind my friends, my family. Could go back to them. I mean, that was a nice, comfortable place. And he starts kind of regretting, again, that he even came up to the land to see what was up here. And he's regretting making these wings. But, again, that fire that's within him, something always comes out. Something is inside of him that just makes him keep going, right? Makes him keep going. And at this point, he notices, he starts to notice this, right? He starts to notice that fire within him. And he's really, really, he's excited about it. And he sort of starts to take a little bit of comfort in it. Starts to take a little bit of comfort in it. And the fact that, hey, you know what? That's okay. You know, if I go a little bit slower on this, you know, maybe I need to take a little bit of a break on this. That's okay, right? And I'll keep making the other wing. I'll keep making the other wing. It's just going to go a little bit slower, right? This is the wiring that he's got set up here. Yeah, so he decides that he's going to keep working, and he knows that he can't quit, right? He's come so far now that he can't quit, and he doesn't want to. He really doesn't want to. So he decides to keep going, and he's not going to give up. Sweet! We're only going for half an hour. Oh man, can we keep this going for another 15 minutes? I think we'll actually get to where I want to go in this next 15 minutes. Alright. So, let me see how you guys doing over here. Alright. So he decides he's going to keep working on these wings. And you guys are totally getting this started. Alright, sweet. Alright, you gotta keep going. Gotta keep going. Okay, so he decides that he starts to realize very quickly that when you're pursuing what you really want out of life, when you really are pursuing what you want to make in this life, the important thing is not that you do it perfect, right? Not that you get it perfect the first time, nor is it really important that you go at a fast pace. The most important thing is that you don't stop, right? The most important thing is that you just don't stop. You don't give up. You don't be afraid. You don't get scared, and you don't go back. So slowly but surely, he begins kind of placing these feathers on the wing, right? And he just tries to focus on one at a time, right? And he starts noticing the other wing is coming together before his very eyes, and he's really, really happy about that. And he instead of focusing on getting the entire wing done, he just focuses, again, on one feather at a time. And it seems like it's taking forever, right? It seems like this wing is just taking forever. The first one got done so quick, and the second one is just taking forever. But he also notices that there's a little bit of improvements that he's made with this new one, right? There's a little bit more detail. Looks a lot better. Looks a little more stylish. Passers-by on the street, I don't know why they'd be looking at his lab where he's building this wing, but they say it looks nice. So he decides that, yeah, you know what? I think this is going to work. I think this is really going to work. And so after this wing is completed, which it finally does get completed one day, right? I could have phrased that better. Finally, one day, Zeeky's second wing is complete, and he's ready to try it out, right? He's ready to try out these wings that he's made. And he's really, really happy. And he just kind of like straps them to his other wings, like his little butterfly wings. And now he's got these big, old, awesome feathered wings that he's sure are going to work. Right? He's sure that they're going to work. And so he decides that he's going to go ahead and pick a good place to effectively test these wings, right? So he goes to the top of a very high building, right? He goes to the very top of a very high building. And this isn't going to end sadly, don't worry. this story could end very, very sadly if you wanted it to. But it's not going to end sadly. That I know of yet, actually. I don't know. So he goes to the top of the highest building in the city, right? He's got his wings, and he's looking down. And he's ready to make the jump. He was ready to make the jump all the way up there, right? Because he had to climb up all these things. He had to like put a plank across and cross it over here, climb this thing, climb all the fire escapes to get to the top of this one. And now he's finally on top, and he's ready to make the jump. And he's looking down. He's looking down on all the other business people and all the other people walking in the streets, watching the cars go by. And he very quickly starts to reflect on everywhere that he's been. Because way in the distance, he can see the beach. He can see the park. He can see the churro stand. And he can see the beach way in the distance. Those are waves. Oh, jeez. It's getting cut off a little bit. No erasing! No erasing! And yeah, he kind of just takes it all in, and he notices how far he's come. He notices how far he's come, working at the churro stand, working in the offices, doing a good job, and everything's led him to this one point. And he doesn't know what's going to happen next. He doesn't know whether he's going to jump and these wings are going to work, or he doesn't know if he's going to crash to the bottom, splat on the road, and get run over by a million cars until he just becomes one with the pavement. But he decides that he's going to do it. Zeeky decides that he's going to make the jump. So he sits on the edge there, and he gets himself ready. And then he makes the jump. Nice head. No, he wouldn't be smiling. Makes the jump. And at this point of ultimate uncertainty, he doesn't know what's going to happen next. He starts to fall a little bit. Starts to fall down. Alright? Starts to fall, and he's noticing that he's noticing that the wings are effectively not working right now. They're not working. They're not working at the moment, and he's falling. Right? He's falling down. And the further he falls, his life starts to flash before his eyes. falling down faster and faster. And at first he decides that, or first he thinks about, you know, all the things that he's done to get to this point. And he wonders, well, first of all, he's thinking, why did I take the jump? Why did I do that? You know, this probably was a bad idea. This doesn't look like it's going to end up pretty well. This doesn't look like it's going to end well. And he's falling. And yeah, he basically realizes that this could be the end. This could be the end of everything that he's done. And yeah, he just kind of starts to accept it. He starts to accept that this could be the end. All of my work and trials and hard work could be for nothing, right? And he sees the road. He's about to hit the road. And man, I'm going to start going fast now. He's about to hit the road and get smashed by all these cars. But then, right before he does, something happens. Something happens. The wind starts to pick up. The wind starts to rush through, right? The wind starts to rush through and starts catching underneath his wings, right? Starts catching underneath his wings. And he's like, whoa! What the heck? Where did this come from? Right? He doesn't know what the heck's going on. And all of a sudden, his wings are taking him off, right? They're working. They're working, and he can't believe it. They're working, and he can't believe it. And he's flying. He's flying. The wind is helping him fly, right? And then quickly, very quickly, he notices that if he actually kind of fastens his arms underneath the wings, he realizes they won't just stick limply on his back. It can actually like flap him, right? So he like very quickly like straps his arms to his own wings. And he realizes, wow, you know what? All this work that I put into these things will actually work even better, you know, if I keep myself a part of them, right? Keep myself a part of these wings. Don't just sit there. Don't just make it and expect to have it do all the work, right? You got to keep on it, right? You got to keep on working on it. So he's really happy with how this is going, right? He's very, very happy. And very quickly he notices that with the wind and flapping his wings, he's starting to gain altitude above the cars and above the skyscrapers and above the people, right? He's looking down on all these people. And they're like little ants, right? They're like little ants down there, right? Here's the street. Here's the buildings. And he's flying way up above. And at this point, Zeeky finally realizes that he's achieved his dream. He's achieved his dream. He's made it to the air. He's flying with the birds. He's punching any birds that come close to him, try to eat him out of the air. And he's living his dream. He's done what he's wanted to do, right? And he stays there for a while, right? He stays flying in the air. He really, really enjoys this. He flies all around the world, right? This freedom that he's granted for himself allowed him to fly all over the world. He gets to see all these different kinds of cool things, right? He makes friends all over the world. And they think that the fact that he's pursued his dream and that he's actually gotten to do what he wants to do is really, really cool, right? Maybe he inspires some people along the way. And yeah, there's Zeeky right there. And yeah, Zeeky realizes that he's very, very happy about this. He's very, very happy flying around the world. He's enjoying the freedom. He's happy that all of the hard work and the determination and the willingness to not give up has gotten him somewhere, right? But even so, flying, after he's flown around for months and months, he starts to realize that, you know, if this is, even doing what he loves, even achieving his dream and being creative, creating something for himself, and then living in this new life from the freedom that it's created from that, it's still something is amiss. Still something is amiss. And what is that? No, it's not a girl, Zeeky. No, it's not. No, don't even go there. Don't even go there. No. What's missing is the fact, well, it's not so much that something's missing. It's just the fact that now he realizes that when he's in the air, now he can see above the clouds, right? He's gotten to this new thing, and now he can see above the clouds. And there's something else up there. There's something else in the clouds as he's flying through. And you can see it. You can't quite make it out, but it almost looks like a castle, right? It almost looks like a castle in the sky. Castle in the distance. And he realizes that even as far as he's come right now, there's still somewhere to go. And very quickly, Zeeky dreams of getting to that castle. And I don't know, maybe I should end it there. Yeah, I think I might end it there. What is the castle? What is that castle? Yeah, I'm definitely going to end it there, guys. Alrighty then. So, woo! That was interesting. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was a pretty fun, thoughtful Thursday, telling you guys stories. Telling you guys a story about Zeeky the cucumber. A little bit relatable to my life, if you hadn't noticed. But a lot of that stuff, I made up this entire story today. I literally made it up on the spot just now. And I hope it was semi-enjoyable. Hopefully the illustrations and the silly drawings made it a little bit more fun. But I think what I want to sum up kind of what motivated me to do this today, guys. And that was, I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about how no matter what happens, no matter what stage of your life you're in, there's always going to be those points of excitement and happiness and fulfillment, and then the interesting thing that happens is, and I've heard this said so many times and it just makes so much sense now, and it's even making more sense now, that no matter what you achieve in life, it doesn't matter what you achieve or what you get in life, the most important thing is that, or the most interesting thing is that even when you get what you want, like, time passes, and if you stay in the same place, if you stay exactly the way that you are, or you slowly start to kind of degrade back to what you could have been, or what you were, right? You start to degrade back to the old ways of life, you're very quickly going to become an unhappy person. And I think really the magic of life is the fact that happiness can be obtained at any point, right? You don't have to you don't need to become a millionaire, you don't need to create a giant business, you don't need to have everybody love you, right? I think the most important thing is that you focus on who you are becoming, right? You focus on the person that you want to be, and you focus on the things that are coming from within you that are telling you to do, like those gut feelings of, hey, this is something that I really want to do, right? If you have like just that inspiration and that passion to do something, to become something, I think that's the most important thing about life, because everything else, it just seems to change. Nothing stays the same forever. You get the dream job, right? The thing you've worked for your entire life. And then very quickly you start to notice that you want more, right? You make the wings, and then you're flying in the sky, you're completely free. And then you're able to see through the clouds to something even higher, right? And I think the real joy in life just comes from you constantly climbing up and up and up and becoming better and better and better version of yourself, right? And I think that unless you continue doing that, you'll very quickly notice that you start to just become very unhappy, very, very unhappy. And it's a very, very interesting thing. It's a very, very interesting thing. I don't even know if I can sum it up completely. I'm not saying that I'm unhappy right now. That's not the point at all. I'm just saying that I'm noticing more than ever that now is the time to really continue, right? Like, basically, this is the way I think of it. If you guys hadn't noticed, I mean, you guys are calling out the stuff that I was talking about anyway, you know, that I was talking about the comic and just working in general. But, you know, the biggest thing that I've noticed with working on the comic so far is that issue 1 came out so fast. Issue 1 came out so fast. And it was great, right? People loved it. People really, really liked it. And I loved it. I absolutely adored it, right? And I was ready to go on to issue 2. And I very quickly even noticed it from the get-go. I mean, issue 1 came out fast, but it still took more time than I thought it was going to. And now issue 2 has been taking even more time. And A, it's because I think the quality is improving, but B, there's also like something about the fact that once you stop trying, you start to kind of just like fall back, right? You start to just automatically degrade if you're not constantly pushing yourself, right? And there's so many things that go into making a comic and just like the mental game of being an artist in general. From worrying about, hey, is this good enough? Or B, I don't know what the heck I'm doing here. And, you know, you just develop all these inferiority complexes and all this stuff. And I'm really trying my best to just push all of that out of the door. I'm just doing my best to just say, you know what, I don't care about that anymore. I don't even care if it's going to be good or not, because you know what, the point is that I'm just doing this, and I'm not going to worry so much about what other people are thinking about it. I just need to focus on, hey, how does this feel to me? And even then, I need to get out of my own head and be like, oh, you know, at those times where I say, oh, this isn't good enough. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it really is. Maybe I just need to release it and just continue. Instead of focusing on everything being right here, how about I just release it now, and if there's mistakes made, I'll take that over to the next one, but continue moving in that same cadence, that same pace. So these are all things that I'm working on, and I hope that the story that I told today can kind of help you guys out. So, whew, man, it is hot in here. Worked up a sweat doing all that drawing. Whew. Let's see here. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and end today's stream since we kind of ran a little bit. I don't know, I'm trying to kind of cut things down to about like 45-50 minutes. So no questions today, but instead I just want to leave you with that story, and hopefully it was a little bit of fun for you, and it was a lot of fun for me. I really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, hopefully you like the story of Zeeky the cucumber and his wings. And you guys have a great weekend. I'm going to take off. I'm going to go play some Last of Us. Got to see if I can maybe beat that thing. I don't even know if I'm halfway through it. But anyway, you guys have a great weekend. And I'll see you on Monday. We'll be working on Emma, and I'll see you then. Take care.
Daytime in no time.